Today on the newscast, Israel eliminates 3 top terror commanders for the Iran-backed group Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza. Could war be on the horizon? Plus, a massive global Christian prayer movement for Israel is underway. Get all the breaking details next. Hey folks, Eric Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. We've got breaking news today, Tuesday, May 9th, at around noon Eastern Time as I come to you. Israel's Operation Shield and Arrow is underway in Gaza. Now, Israel is carrying out airstrikes against the Iran-backed Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror group in the Strip, and overnight, Israel eliminated 3 top terror leaders belonging to that group. Now, a little bit of backdrop here, folks. Last week, Palestinian Islamic Jihad launched over 100 rockets against Israel out of Gaza. Israel did not respond in any real significant way during the time, but now this major operation is underway right now, and those 3 top terror commanders, pretty significant. Number one, the commander for northern Gaza of Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Number 2, the commander of all of Palestinian Islamic Jihad's operations in the West Bank, which we know here on the newscast as Judea and Samaria, the biblical heartland. That's what the Bible calls it, so that's what we call it. And the 3rd top Islamic Jihad commander belonged to the group's military council. Right now, Islamic Jihad and Hamas, which rules the Strip with an iron fist, are breathing new threats against Israel. They have a joint operations room, which they call it, and they are collaborating and trying to figure out how they are going to respond to Israel. These strikes seem to have taken Palestinian Islamic Jihad by surprise. Israel expects a retaliation now in the form, most likely, of those rocket barrages, which we see on a practically regular basis out of Gaza, which has really just been a thorn in Israel's side, these repeated rocket barrages. The towns in the south, Israeli towns in the south, they've evacuated some residents in anticipation of this terror onslaught, Iran-backed terror onslaught. There's been some evacuations. Schools are shut down right now, and again, Israel is bracing for the response. But this seems to be an operation, folks, that Israel had to carry out when over 100 rockets are launched by this group against Israel. Israel has to have a very tough response. Now, Israel has not targeted Hamas sites in this current operation yet. It seems that Israel is trying to focus on Palestinian Islamic Jihad. We had a similar situation back in August 2022, which we covered extensively here on the newscast. Israel and Islamic Jihad going toe-to-toe. Hamas stayed out of it, folks. But in this case, Benjamin Netanyahu today is already saying, look, we are preparing for a multi-front war, meaning not only Gaza, meaning southern Lebanon, Syria, that ring of fire we've talked about so much here in the newscast. And remember, there are also Palestinian terror groups operating right now in southern Lebanon under the watchful eye of Hezbollah. So it is not beyond the realm of possibility that Islamic Jihad, Hamas, could seek to open a second front in this current round of fighting, folks. But we are keeping all of this in prayer. Of course, a very serious situation in Israel right now. And speaking of prayer, and for such a time as this, I can't think of a better movement than what just got underway 2 days ago on May 7th, the Isaiah 62 fast. Now, this is a massive global prayer movement for Israel. Christians, followers of Jesus, praying, interceding, and fasting for the nation of Israel. Again, for such a time as this. Incredible timing with Israel under siege right now on all sides by Iran-backed terror groups. Of course, internal discord as well. Now, our friend Mike Bickle of the International House of Prayer is helping to spearhead this massive global movement. Christians from around the world, folks, millions, at least 5 million so far, are coming together for 21 days between May 7th and May 28th to pray, fast, and intercede for Israel. Isaiah62fast.com is the website to learn more how you can take part. And I spoke recently to Mike Bickle about this incredible movement. Take a look. And we are joined by our good friend Mike Bickle, founder of the International House of Prayer in Kansas City. Mike, you've got so much going on at IHOP, but man, you have a major movement right now that you're helping to spearhead for Israel. 21 days of prayer and fasting beginning May 7th, lasting through May 28th. Tell us why now for this movement of prayer and fasting for Israel.
So just in one sentence, what we're doing, we're calling people to pray 1 hour a day for 21 days for Israel. At least 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day for 21 days. So we launched this call on March 7th, so about 8 weeks ago, right at 8 weeks ago. And at first it was going to be just the IHOP family. We have a 24-hour house of prayer. As you know, we've had live worship for 24 years here. And so we were going to do it with our staff of 600. They raise their own support. So we've got a nice resource base here of people. And we were going to do just us. And we're going to pray for Israel for 24 hours a day for 21 days. And we were pretty excited about that. And then some folks said, why don't you invite some of your friends? At the 3-week mark, we were like at the 1 million people wanted to do it. So we said, wait a second, this is not an IHOP thing anymore. No, we are just one unit. And now there's several thousand ministries that are in this collaboration. So we're one of several thousand. And so we created a new website called Isaiah62fast.com. And that website, it's not an IHOP website. So we don't use it for our ministry. Nobody will use it for anything. It's a directory where just thousands of ministries, if they will commit to 1 hour a day for 21 days, and they will lead at least 2 to 3 people, whether in their office, their house church, their marketplace, whatever. If they'll lead even a little prayer meeting, they can put their information on that website. We've got 100 languages where the information is translated in 100 languages. And I've done about 50 of these kind of calls with Portuguese, Spanish, Russian, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, Arabic, just a number of them with big national networks all around the world. I'm blown away. They're saying we want to bring our network of, 3,000 churches, one network, another network, hundreds of churches, 3 million people. We're all coming in.
I look at the external enemies that Israel is facing right now, the Iranian regime, its terror proxies surrounding Israel on all sides. And I think of the internal discord in Israel right now as well. So Israel is facing a lot of challenges. Tell us why Isaiah 62 is so important to this movement. Again, it's Isaiah62fast.com.
Yes, because Isaiah 62 is the most descriptive prophetic chapter in the Bible of the glory of God on the city of Jerusalem. It's 12 verses. It's line upon line, as you know, glory of God on Jerusalem. And so there's no chapter in the Bible that has that much prophetic description. Yet I believe 90%, maybe more, of the body of Christ is unaware of Isaiah 62. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying the Holy Spirit hasn't emphasized it in the global conversation. But by putting it in the title of this fast, again, we were just doing it for us, but it blew up. So now millions are going to know Isaiah 62 by the end of this month. I don't mean they'll be experts on it, but they'll be familiar with it. And new songs will come out of it, new podcasts, new messages, new conversations, all kinds of things about Isaiah 62.
Yeah, Mike, this movement, it's a 21-day movement. Again, it wraps up on May 28th. I don't think that's a coincidence. That's also Pentecost this year on May 28th. As you look ahead, you're in the midst of this. What are your goals at the end of these 21 days? When you stand back and you kind of process everything that went down with this incredible prayer movement, what are you hoping for? What are some of your goals in terms of what God is going to do here?
Perfect. I mean, excellent question. First of all, the fact that, again, I'm saying 5 million, it's more, but millions of Gentiles are doing this, that alarms me. It encourages me, but alarms me too. I'm going, why in history has this never happened before? Because it wasn't this kind of moment that May's going to be. I think with trouble and with glory. I think both and, not either or, but I don't know for sure. But the fact that this wind of the Spirit got so many engaged, I said, something's up. It's serious. But the big storyline is that these let's just say 5 million, then they each have a friend or two. So let's say there's 10 million who know about it, who talk about it. Well, they all got about 5 or 10 friends too. So in the next year or two, there's going to be 30 or 40 million Gentile believers in the conversation of the biblical narrative of Israel. That's kind of the end game, because then the Lord will do all kinds of things with that many people who love Jesus. They love the Great Commission. They just don't get Israel yet, but they're going to discover it. So I see May as a catalytic moment of an escalation of the global conversation of the body of Christ.
And Mike, this is also happening in the midst of Israel's 75th anniversary, the miraculous refounding of the nation of Israel in 1948. Last question, real quick. We're hearing a lot of talk, encouraging talk about potential revival here in the United States, but it seems that we can't really have a revival if, as you mentioned, if the church doesn't have a heart for Israel and doesn't grasp the centrality of Israel in God's prophetic plan.
When we touch Israel, the church in America, I'm talking about here, the church in Asia and Africa, more's going to happen in the spirit. And then the last thing I'll say is Daniel chapter 10. I'm just awestruck by this because none of this was planned this way. Daniel 10, Daniel the prophet fasted 21 days, cried out, and the demonic principality of Persia, of Iran, is what he was resisting. And today, 2,500 years after Daniel 10 was written, Persia, Iran has emerged on the world stage just in the last few decades. And it's Iran again, and it's 21 days, and it's Daniel. It's like, this is intense. I go, Lord, I never even thought about that. We just stumbled into this global Daniel 10 moment and this global Esther moment that we're experiencing in salvation history.
An amazing prayer movement, a global prayer movement for Israel right now. And I don't believe the timing with everything going on right now in Gaza and beyond is any coincidence, folks. This is God's timing. Again, it is Isaiah62fast.com. Big thanks to our friend Mike Bickle for joining us. Hey, a few quick reminders before we go. Number one, if you have not subscribed to the Watchman News channel right here on YouTube, give us a subscribe, click the notification bell so you get alerts every time a new video is posted. Obviously, we'll be keeping a very close eye on what's happening in Gaza right now. You don't want to miss any of our updates. Number two, if you want to support the channel and you love what we're doing here at The Watchman, check out our Watchman shop at shop.tbn.org/Watchman. Some cool Watchman merch there, hats, t-shirts, mugs, all the rest. A way to support what we're doing here at The Watchman. Third thing, programming note, tomorrow, Wednesday, May 10th, we'll have a lot to talk about, no doubt, including this current campaign, Shield and Arrow, that the Israel Defense Forces are conducting during our Watchman Newscast live stream between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We are going for a solid hour and taking your questions during our Q&A session, so be sure to join us there. Keep Israel, in particular, those brave communities in southern Israel near the Gaza border, in your prayers right now. And by the way, pray for the Palestinian women and children who are being used as human shields by these terror groups right now in Gaza. We're keeping a close eye on it. Thanks so much for joining us here today on The Watchman. Until tomorrow, God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.